flame on the shore, it flickers low. Smoky tendrils where the embers glow. Bread and fish on stones they lay, a quiet feast for the break of day. The nets were heavy, the dawn was pale, voices calling over waves that sail. Come and eat, the words they ring. The sea holds secrets, the fire does sing. Oh, a charcoal fire, it burns so deep. From our sleep. Do you see it now? Do you hear his name? The catch is full, but it's not the same. Come to the fire, taste the dish. Come to the shore, bring the fish. The morning's kiss. Do you feel the love in this?
Welcome to the Greg Who Show. I'm Greg, where we're beginning to outline and color on your screen Jenna. Jenna Alba is my guest today, and this episode is more of a sneak preview, so bear with us. We're going to talk to Jenna, and hopefully you guys get to know her a little bit better, and I'm looking forward to getting to know her better myself. I've known her for many years, but it's only been through social media and the phone, and now we're talking face to face. So I'm excited to get into this interview with Jenna Alba, the sneak preview, to talk about her upcoming episode, her full episode 7. So today we will be talking about Golden, a film that my guest Jenna Alba is in. We will also be talking to her about Johnny Depp's People's Artist Contest, as she is one of the contestants. Please join us today as we explore an artist's world with Jenna Alba. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, my next guest on the Greg Who Show is Jenna Alba, a young woman of many talents, an actor, singer, poet, and artist. Creating has always been something that matters most to Jenna, whether it is performing in a scene, singing a song, writing poetry, or making art. Jenna just hopes to create a positive impact in this world and help make it a better place through her various creative outlets. Jenna, that sounds like Michael Jackson's Heal the World song from his 1991 album called Dangerous.
Sure does. Yeah. I get a lot of inspiration from that guy, it's why not try to make the world a better place through any kind of creative way, we need more love in this world,
A
so
better
if I can
place
be that light,
for you and for me.
exactly. So if I can be a beacon of light in this world, then through my art and creative outlets, then happy to do so.
Yeah. He's the king of pop. Did you see the Michael, the biopic, the movie in theaters?
I absolutely did, of course. Yes, he's one of my idols. Unfortunately, I can't dance like him, but I'm going to work on that. But yeah, it was a fantastic film. I actually fell in love with the other film that was done by for the Jacksons' American Dream. I don't know if you've seen that one back in the early 90s. It was like a little
No,
four-part miniseries, and that was great. But to see it now, just like a reimagining of Michael's story with his own nephew, Jafar Jackson, playing him was just
I heard.
astonishing. Like just the cinematography, the music, of course, because he's got fabulous music and just the costumes, the acting. It was just wonderful. It was like seeing him in concert. I'd always wanted to see him. I never was old enough to see him. And when the opportunity arose, when he was going to do the This Is It tour, I was ready to buy my ticket. And unfortunately, I remember I'll never forget the day he passed when I was working at Cold Stone and I'm flipping some ice cream on the stone there and I hear it playing over the radio and it's like breaking news and I thought it was a hoax and it devastated me to know that I could
Oh,
never see
yeah.
the man, the myth, the legend in the flesh. But you know, he lives on through his family, through his music, and through his children, you know, his beautiful children. So
Yeah. I think everyone remembers exactly where they were when they found out that he passed. And oh,
absolutely.
you weren't old. So for me, it was Elvis. Like I wasn't old enough to kind of be around when. I mean, I caught the tail end of his life, but I wasn't that old to really, So did you see the Elvis as well? What was it? It's called Epic.
Yeah, so I actually was able to score a ticket to that. I was doom scrolling on social media as one does when they have nothing else to do. And I saw on Instagram that it said Epic, you know, world premiere, and there was going to be a special screening at the Chinese Theater here in Hollywood. And Baz Luhrmann was going to be doing a special opening little speech to, you know, talk a little bit about what we're to expect to see. And I got my popcorn, I got my little Coca-Cola, and I was like dead center. So it was just an amazing experience. You know, seeing the inside of the theater for the first time was obviously wonderful. It was a beautiful theater. And then just hearing his music and seeing it's because it's unseen footage from his Las Vegas shows that he had
Yeah.
and just seeing him being his goofy self and you know a little bit of home movies but you know I cried, my toes were tapping the whole time. I wanted to get up and like do the best Elvis dance that I could, you know. And there was actually one lady in the front row who was up almost the entire time, so like kudos whoever you are, lady, like you're my hero. That's so awesome. But yeah, you know, we call them the two kings, the king of rock and roll and the king of pop. You know, they've always mattered and meant so much to me. And it's actually Elvis has always been a little bit more close to my heart because that's how my parents met. So my father, he was hanging out with his buddies one day and was listening to KFRC. I don't even know if that's still a radio station today, but was listening. They're like, we need a caller 10 to, if you're caller 10, you can participate in this Elvis impersonating contest. He wasn't even a huge Elvis fan at the time, but he could sing and he sounded like him. And so he ended up being caller 10 and it took place at the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds up in Northern California.
Hmm.
And it was kind of on a like a whim, you know, like it was literally fate. My mother didn't even want to go to this event, but my grandmother, God rest her soul, and my aunts, her sisters, were like, no, they're like, Mija, come on, let's go, it's gonna be fun. And she's like, okay. So she ends up going and then sees my father performing on stage, and I guess she liked what she saw. So she ended up after the show, asked for an autograph and a kiss, and he ended up uh, asking if he can give her number or give the number out, you know. So I'm almost messing it up again. I uh, believe she or he asked for her number, and so he lived in Berkeley at the time. She was in San Jose, and he ended up calling her and traveled from Berkeley to San Jose, I believe, every weekend to see her. And
Do
that
you want
doesn't
to
really happen anymore.
do you want to start again? Because I don't want to see that in there. That's gonna You're gonna be mad about that.
No, let me see. I'm gonna go to my mom's notes. Let's see, because she sent it. She says, I asked for an autograph and a kiss, and then Auntie Renee, hi Auntie Renee, told me that he wanted to talk to me backstage, and that's when he asked for my number. There you go. And this was March of 1984. Got
Yeah.
it right. I should have just had that note pulled up in the beginning. And they dated for 2 years, got married in March of 86, and they just celebrated 40 years together. So
Wow.
they have three children, me being the middle child and the only girl. I have an older brother who was born in 87 and a little brother born in 97. So it's kind of like a, you know, fate thing because a phone call, caller 10, she didn't even want to go. And then bang, like the rest is history. So yeah, Elvis has always meant a lot to my family and he still means a lot, which is why when I saw that opportunity to go see the film and on IMAX screen, I was like, let's go. I'm ready for it. So if you haven't seen it, you definitely have to check it out. It's wonderful. You're gonna love it. And if you haven't seen Michael, all I can say is Oscar for Jafar Jackson. The makeup and everything was so wonderful. And actually, fun fact, the incredible V. Neil participated in makeup effects for that, and Bill Corso. So yeah, it was wonderful. It's a nice celebration for him.
Michael got that biopic got the global box office record for music film during
Yeah,
its opening weeks, and so I can understand what you're saying about Oscar, and he was very inspirational to a lot of us, and I'm sure you feel the same way. He was very His original music videos were it was like mini cinemas, right? It wasn't just a
yeah,
video, it was like a mini movie, right?
totally. Yeah, like from Thriller to Beat It, Billie Jean, Bad, Smooth Criminal. And actually, I also really loved when I was a kid watching, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Moonwalker, where it
Yeah.
showcases like all of those little things. And then they throw Joe Pesci in there, and some little kids and just make a little story at the end. It's so much fun. I'm so happy he did that because I love it. It's in my drawer here. I pull it out and I put it on from time to time. So
You fell in love with the filmmaking process as a little girl after seeing the film E.T., directed by none other than Steven Spielberg. The combination of the visual artistry of cinematography, score, the wide range of the young cast like Henry Thomas, Robert McNaughton, Drew Barrymore. This spoke to you in a way which would forever change your life. Can you speak to that?
yeah, I was probably, I would say, Drew Barrymore's age when she was in the film when I first saw it. So I think she was maybe about like 5 or 6 years old, a little tyke. And just the opening scene, where it's creates such suspense, the flashlights, the dangling keys that they key in on, pun intended. You don't see ET, but you hear him doing his breathing as he's running away from these guys, and then him running out to see his ship, leaving him there, in the San Fernando Valley, and he's like, oh no, it's like, what's gonna happen? What is he gonna do now? Also, like when they zone in on like the Reese's pieces and the when the guy picks him up and you just hear him crunching, just everything about it, of course the iconic scene right behind me. Of course, I have the poster where the bicycle where Elliot and ET fly across the moon. Hearing John Williams creating that suspense with that scary, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? They're gonna fall off the cliff. They're gonna fall off the cliff music. And then they go do a little dive, and then you hear the dun 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 dun. Dun. It
John
makes me want to
Williams.
cry right now just doing it. And then hearing Henry Thomas just do that little, like, he's like he can't believe it. He's flying. Like, how is this happening? And there's just so many good shots. Like even the scene where the gentlemen are dressed up in like the astronaut uniforms and you hear the breathing, almost like a Darth Vader breathe like that. And Dee Wallace is holding little Drew Barrymore and they running through the house. But what really, really hit my heart and soul, I think my favorite, I mean, Henry Thomas is wonderful. It's really hard to choose a favorite, but Drew, they made her believe that ET was real. She did not know that that was a fake puppet, you know? So the scene where they're resuscitating ET at the very end and you hear the clear boom and she just jumps and just instant tears. That's just pure authentic emotion coming from her because she's like I'm going to cry right now. She's like my friend is hurt. What's wrong with my friend? I somebody help him. Like she's devastated. She was just the sweetest little piece of pie in that movie. And seeing, I'm not sure if you've seen the original audition video for Henry Thomas,
I
but
think I
oh
have,
my,
yes.
yeah, where he's like, "No, you can't take him away. He's mine." It's just, it's incredible, and that movie has and will always stand the test of time. It's a phenomenal film.
Drew Barrymore captivated our childhood. She it was like lightning in a bottle. And in fact, you're quite right when you say that she believed. I think there was this my favorite scene or my favorite continuity error, if I can be so brash and bold to point it out, was when Drew said it was D Wallace played the character of her mom, right? So when Drew is like pulling her little cart with the flour on the trolley there, she doesn't say when the mother D Wallace gives her instructions, Drew responds with saying, instead of okay mom, she says okay Mary, which was the character that D Wallace was playing. That was the name, but she should have said mom, right? So you really
Right.
can see how she was in like a whole other world. You even wonder if she knew she was being filmed, right?
Right, exactly. I thought that was a super cute moment too. Just so, and then she's like, "Okay, Mary," like just the sweetest little piece of pie ever. And she's grown up to be such a beautiful woman. She's gone through her trials and tribulation, and she's come out on the other side. I've loved watching all of her other films and just seeing her on her. I don't have cable, so I can't really watch her talk show, but I'm so proud of her. Like she's doing her thing, and very she's not afraid to be vulnerable, and that's what I absolutely love about her. You see that, you know, she has these very deep, open, honest conversations with not only her guests, but like with her audience too. She gets really like down to like the heart and soul of it. And she's one of my idols too. You know, that's my girl. I'd love to work with you one day, Drew.
Yeah, well, we followed her, right? And it's a lot like when you captivate our childhood, it puts a lot of pressure on the actors, right? Because fame comes at you hard, and then she has to grow up in that fishbowl. And yeah, we all watched it, and we've all had our trials and tribulations. And as much as they felt like they were alone, we were right there with them, right? Learning, going
Absolutely.
through our own trials and tribulations, right? And so
Yes.
very, very relatable in real life and captivated on the screen. So it's all about healing the inner child. It's all about that lightning in a bottle where you captivate that gut wrenching, belly aching laughter of with your childhood friend that just heals the heart. And in those movies, if we can touch people's hearts and minds and change their lives, that's what it's all about. It's about touching the human condition and hopefully growing together and healing one another. Just like the Michael Jackson thing, right? It's true.
Healing the world.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. And, you know, like you may not completely heal from things, but inevitably, if you succeed, you learn how to deal with them. You learn how to deal with the stuff better. So you find your healthy coping mechanisms, and definitely film is one of mine. When I'm having a bad day or feeling down, I will put on my favorite film, you know, or listen to one of my favorite songs. It's just something like film and art and music can just the fact that it can just touch your soul, your heart, mind, body, and soul. It's a beautiful thing. It's
But
amazing.
yes, it is. But we have to remember that film is an escape. So you got to find your peeps. You know,
Yeah,
you got to find your peeps and your support network, and because this business that you're in and striving to succeed in, you do have your highs and lows, and you need your support system there, and you need to find your peeps, the ones that are going to have your back.
totally. And
For
I feel
sure.
like I have, because with this kind of industry, you'll be working, say, on a film for a couple of months or so, and then you could be, as they say, like dry for the next 6 months to a year and not have another project. So it's like riding on that high of being on a set or working on something so great. And then you have to come back home to doing your regular stuff. And you have to really just keep that nice, healthy mindset to know, like, hey, something else may or may not come, but you just hope and pray for the best and just continue to live your life and try to forget your troubles, come on, get happy, that kind of stuff.
That's right. So you began acting and singing as a young child in your school plays and would often attempt to copy anything that you saw on television. You loved trying to find a way to tap into the different emotions that the actors were conveying on your television screen. You thought that if something on the TV or film can create such an overwhelming emotion through you, that maybe one day you could have that same effect on others when they watched you perform. That was really your driving force. You got motivated by all of that. And can you tell us what it was like to grow up with that kind of passion for acting, and now you're, where the rubber meets the road, you're out there putting yourself out there and doing it. What's it like to grow up with that passion that you just can't stop? You got to keep going to see if you yourself can do it as well.
It was just a great escape for me. Like I knew like that was like where I never like felt like I could fit in kind of anywhere, even as a young child. Um, it was very hard for me to make friends and just my trusting and everything like that. So when I would perform on a stage, it's like, oh, my drama club, that's my little tribe, like, and I never let it go, so I would do talent shows at school. I, you know, did some community theater, and then even in high school went through that. But I mean, my parents, they still are singers, not professionally or anything, but they just really had a love for it. They had a band when I was a kid called the Steamrollers, and their manager would be up the street. Yeah, their manager lived right up the street, so he had a home studio. So me and my older brother, before my little brother was born, we would have to go up there because, why pay for babysitting when they can just play music to us going to sleep. So the guy, his name was Bob Dylan, not the Bob Dylan, but his name was Bob
Yeah, yeah,
Dylan. He would always bring out little cots for us to lay out on the floor, a decent space back from the band playing. My brother and I would bring our little toys or little action figures and play. He would give us like a little cup of, a highball glass of Coca-Cola and ice. And we'd play and play. And then once we got tired, those cots would come out. We'd fall asleep to, listening to Black Magic Woman and stuff like that. And once I kind of got that in my system, it's all in all of our systems. I was like, I want to sing too. So I first fell in love with the acting part of it as far as like drama club being like 5 years old. And then once I really kind of grasped that, oh, my parents are singers, then I was, we'd have a karaoke system in the garage. So we would practice and I wouldn't be afraid. I would sing in the shower and just always try to practice. And yeah, I mean, I just love it. And my dad being the realist, of course, God bless him. I love my father, but he was always I was like 19 or so when I was like really dead set on like one day I'm moving to Hollywood, I'm doing this. And he would say, well, Jen, you need to have a 5-year plan. If you don't make it in 5 years, then you should probably think about getting a 9 to 5. And I pretty much told my dad, I'm like, I love you and I understand where you're coming from, but I'm going to be doing this until I keel over. You know, it's just in my nature. I love it so much, and and I've done the 9 to 5, and I still do. I mean, I work for Disney, um, and it's great, but I just feel like I'm meant for something so much more. Like I have all these gifts, and I just have so much to release and to give to the world. So if I
Hmm.
can do that, then that's great. And I would love to get paid, you know, really good money doing something that I love, and hopefully other people will love it too.
Yeah. Yes. So we know that E.T. started your love of film. What are some other films that have resonated deeply within your soul?
There's a lot. So, I mean, I love anything from older movies, back in like the 30s. I mean, Wizard of Oz is one, of course. That's a classic.
Mhm.
Judy Garland. Yours, Mine, and Ours with Lucille Ball, Henry Fonda. I love The Long, Long Trailer. I'm a big Lucy fan, so anything that she does, she was just the queen of comedy, and she was a pioneer. She could be sexy, sultry, and gorgeous one second, but she didn't mind putting on like a full black tooth and going, oh, oh, and just she being a goofball. She was just a queen. Um, the Stooge, I love the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis films. The Stooge is one of
Mhm.
my favorites. It's a classic. I love old musicals like West Side Story and Grease. And another film I really love is Blue Lagoon, just because of the beautiful setting, which Randall Kleiser, who directed Grease, and I believe it was his first film he directed, also directed The Blue Lagoon. And of course, all the John Hughes movies back in the 80s,
Mm,
they're just fantastic films. But then I jumped to like Chris Columbus, I believe he did the Home Alone films and stuff like that. So just a lot of great stuff. And I'm gonna save the best for last, but drum roll please. The Lost Boys, directed by
Lost
Joel
Boys.
Schumacher, is just one that really is like in my heart and in my soul. Like I actually I was kind of feeling earlier today, so I was watching some Johnny Depp interviews, just kind of falling asleep to those. But as I was getting ready for this interview, I put on The Lost Boys. It's one of those guilty pleasures that is just so fun and so entertaining, and has that wonderful blend of comedy and horror, which I don't think was done before that. I think
No.
that's kind of it. It set the tone for future films to have that
Yeah,
blend in
it
there.
established a precedent for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. What do you think was what do you think the reason or reasons for its success, the cult classic film that it's become? What do you why do you think it is? What were the reasons?
Um, there's so many reasons. I mean, from the set decorating, from Bo Welch, like everything was just so beautiful, and it's also near and dear to my heart because Santa Cruz, like, my family and I would go there at least a handful of times every year in the summer when I was a kid, so I was already very familiar with Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Boardwalk! I always loved that commercial. So to actually finally see it in a film the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, wow, like, that's like home for me," even though I lived about 2 hours away, it still felt like home to me, and the costuming was beautiful. The makeup special effects done by V. Neal and Greg Canham. Unfortunately, we did lose Greg Canham last year, so God rest his soul. Thank you for all the beautiful work, sir. Um, and then just, Joel Schumacher with his vision, that's, as I've heard before, quoted by some of the guys in the cast, that was Joel's baby. Like, he put his heart and soul into that film, and you really see it portrayed on the screen. And then the wonderful cast of characters. I mean, you have Diane Wiest, Ed Herman, uh, I believe is Bernard Hughes, Jason Patrick, Corey Haim, and all the guys in Billy Wirth, Chance Corbett, Jamie Gertz. They're just Jamie Newlander. They're just all wonderful, and they blended that comedy and horror where it's like, and then the sexual thing, it was very sexy, but then it's also so pure and innocent. Like when you see Corey in the bathtub doing his woo woo
Mm.
woo, it's just so sweet. And if you haven't seen it, kids, watch it. You won't regret it.
Yes.
It's
And it's the
fantastic.
80s music, and it's the Jim
Yes, and the music.
Morrison, and it's the
Yes.
G Tom Max song in the beginning. It's all of these, the combination, right? And
Yeah.
everyone does, yeah. And what was the dog's name?
Nanook. Nanook was a fantastic
Nook.
character. He kicked butt. And then they had Thorn, which was Max's dog, but he's kind of a little bit more like in the background. He's just more of an angry dog, the Hounds of Hell. But Nanook was that like he was like one of the heroes of the film. I mean,
Yeah.
he kicked Brooke McCarter's butt. And actually also Jason Patrick. They just let that dog go and just tackle them. So, and God rest Brooke McCarter's soul. Like we love and miss him
Yeah.
too. But unfortunately, I never got to meet him. But just seemed like a sweet guy. And oh, and the makeup again, like for that bathtub scene, like it was one of those popular Fangoria issues where he was just featured on there. The makeup was phenomenally done. It was great.
Yeah. It really was a perfect blend of a lot of artistry and craft, and it was amazing, and it stands the test of time for sure. Absolutely. Um, um, have you got so what is it about like the Lost Boys? Everyone wants, it's that old lightning in a bottle. Like everyone wants a piece of it. Do you have any of the memorabilia or anything? Everyone wants a piece of it's a piece of the first time they saw it, or their childhood, or just how it made them feel. Do you have any of the merch?
Uh, I do. I actually worked for Hot Topic in San Bruno, and I was a manager. So at the end of the night, I had to put in notes to like, oh, who came in today and like inquired about a certain licensed brand and what's not there. I would always, excuse me, put in inquired about Lost Boys. And eventually I feel like I could take a little bit of credit for that. Now they have Lost Boys merch on hottopic.com, and I've gotten quite a few items there, sweatpants and stuff. I also, if I may step away for a few moments, I have a couple
Yeah.
other things. Give me one moment. I have, drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. These guys.
Oh, wow.
I have the replica comic books. I have not had anybody sign them because I kind of want to keep them nice and pure. But
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are the replicas, and on the inside it does have the art that was in the when Sam opens up the comic and reading it in his bed. But I also have
Wow.
a nifty little Funko Pop. Let's see if we can get the glare out of there of Sam. Oh my gosh, of Sam Emerson
I
with his
confess.
steak. How can you not love this guy? I mean, he is just, I'm trying to get the glare out. He is just the cutest little piece of pie ever,
I'll give you
What a
one
stick.
guess where I got mine.
Hot Topic.
No, I
Oh,
forget.
where did you?
It was a gift. So who did I get it from?
The man, the myth, the legend?
No, no. Was he? I don't think he was around. I don't think he was
Oh,
around
that's
when
right.
that.
No, he was. No, that's right.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know that.
This was a gift from Judy Haim. I don't know if it was Christmas or Hanukkah, or I don't
Oh,
know what it was. Yeah, she got me
wow.
this.
Miss Judy.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah, yeah,
wonderful
yeah.
gift.
But
Yeah.
the myth, the man, and the legend gave me
You do
that.
not have your license to drive. Oh my gosh. Another fantastic film of the 80s with the two Corys.
This it it
Wes
was one of those.
Anderson.
I keep our passports in it. It opens up kind of like that.
Yes.
It was one of those cast and crew gifts. You know when they give at the end. What do you wrap gifts, or what do you call them?
Yeah. Yep, the rap
Yeah,
gifts. Yeah,
yeah, the
that's so
wrap gifts.
awesome.
So yeah, so that's a
That's
special.
amazing.
I treasure
Oh,
that. That's my lightning in the bottle.
absolutely. Oh, I love that. Another great film. Very, very fun.
Okay. Stay with us, folks, as we continue to explore an artist's world with Jenna D'Alba. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial message.
Guitarist extraordinaire! Johnny Depp! Playing the part of Alice Cooper tonight. Everybody, give it to me now.
Okay. And we are back with the Lost Boys, Sam Emerson, and my guest, Jenna Alba.
There he is, guys.
So, what can we expect to hear in your full episode? What are we really going to talk about? What fun stuff are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk a little bit about when I went to New York. It was my first trip. Unfortunately, it was a very short trip, but I went to New York to see Waiting for Godot, starring Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, who
Oh,
are very near and
nice.
dear to my
Yeah.
heart because I grew up loving Bill and Ted as well. I forgot to add
Yeah.
that to my list of favorite films. They recently, in
Yeah.
the last 5 years or so, came out with the third. And then I also went to Times Square Church, where my Grammy-nominated cousin Ricardo Sanchez is one of the worship leaders there. So he plays with the band, and we had a wonderful time. I got to see him, spend time with him, and then touch a little bit on musicals that I do want to see because I've always thought about joining, like being on the Broadway scene myself. And they just came out with a Lost Boys musical. So that's an
Nice.
exciting thing that we can talk about. And then I also want to touch a little bit on my brief interactions with the late and great Aaron Carter. He was a huge part of my childhood. One of my first crushes. I loved him so much. I still do. I think about him often. And yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
That's awesome. When I first heard, I think we were talking when I was in British Columbia. I think you called me when I was in British Columbia. And then when I came back, and we were talking a couple more times when I came back to Ontario, I found out you finally told me who your cousin was. And I looked him up, and I'm like, that guy came to Canada. He came to my church event, like, I don't know, 30 years ago. I recognized him, and I recognized his music and the whole 9 yards. And I was like, I swear, I think he was at Evangel Temple in Toronto, at York Mills and Young. So
He
is that
probably was.
possible?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, he did. He used to tour and do lots of stuff like that. He's now based in New York, so he's doing his Times Square Church thing now, but
Yeah.
he's put out 4 albums. My favorite is his first one. It's called Unmerited. It came out in 2005. So it's about 21 years old. And yeah.
Before 2020, my wife and I went to New York quite a bit, and that's when I discovered the New York Times church. And it was so, first of all, I was shocked that there was like a church in the middle of kind of Times Square. And I looked inside. I've never been, but I said the next time we go, and we haven't been back since 2020. So,
Right.
but I
Yeah.
was like, I said to my wife, we've got to come back here next time. I didn't know that this church was here, because when they opened the doors and everyone was coming out, you could feel like, I don't want to say vibe, but like you could feel a presence, and like you could hear
Totally.
worship in the background, and like big stage and lots of people coming out, everyone's happy, and you felt that just this wave of this presence, and I was just like, wow, this is an awesome church. So when I found out your cousin was the worship leader of it, I was like, oh wow, did he inspire you? Because my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, you had a recent encounter and gave your life to the Lord. Am I correct? And I guess my question is, did Ricardo have anything to do with that?
Oh yeah, he absolutely did. I mean, I was always when I was a little kid, me and my brothers, we were dragged to church because, no kid really wants to. We don't have a complete understanding, but I was baptized, I had communion, I just haven't been confirmed, but it just was more of that like traditional kind of Catholic church where it's,
Mhm,
now when I heard his music, it really made me it gave me life, there's life in his music and you
mhm,
can get the word through his songs and everything. So yeah, I now watch the Times Square Church. You can watch it on YouTube, Times Square Church, on the YouTube channel, and they have it every Sunday. There's a 10 a.m. service. There's a 1 p.m. service. They also have midweek service on Wednesdays. But yeah, I really will get my cup of coffee in the morning now and just praise the Lord, and I get to see my family. And he's actually my second cousin. It's my mother's cousin. His mom and my mom's dad were brother and sister. So
mhm.
that's the relationship there. And then actually a fun fact, he did live with my mom and my grandparents for some time. So just really cool, very very good person. He's very tall. I call him I haven't called him that, but he's just a gentle giant. But just the sweetest guy, and I'm very proud to say that he's my family.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You should sing with him. Uh
I'd love
have you ever
to.
thought, what's that?
I said I would love to.
Yeah.
I've asked him to like cover one of his songs before, so he was supposed to send me the chords, but he's a busy guy too, so I'm gonna have to work on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love to collaborate with him and create a song, a gospel song, and maybe even one day, go to Times Square Church and sing live on stage at the church because, that's broadcast
I'd
for
g
everybody
I'd
around the
go to
world.
that. What's
Yeah,
that? Say that again?
they broadcast for everywhere around the world, so they have people in all sorts of different countries, and it's amazing how many people, that they reach just from that
Yeah.
that church right there. So
Yeah, because you do quite a bit of singing. You wanna tell people about where they can find some of you do a lot of music videos and cover songs and, on your
yeah,
YouTube channel. Where can they f
I
where's
do.
how what do they type in the search engine there for your YouTube channel?
So on the search engine, you just type in Jenna Alba 5701. You're gonna see a picture of me, one of my new like theatrical headshots. I'm in a burgundy leather jacket, looking all cool with my arm up. But yeah, I'm really in love with this Smule app. It's called Smule, and me and my buddy Jameson from the Lost Boys, the Frog brother, we like to play back and forth with that, and we've tried to work on, and we're kind of slowly in the process of trying to create our own little musical act out here in LA. So, stay tuned for that as well. Slowly but surely we're trying to get the ball rolling a little bit, and it was totally his
Mhm,
idea. So I was like, oh, cool. I'm like, yeah, you put yourself out there and people are going to see it. And if they like it, he was like, hey, girl, let's try doing this thing. So we've had, little rehearsals that we've done here and there. And, it's a work in progress. But yeah, if you want to check me out, you'll see some live performances of mine. I sang at the Kookaburra Lounge at Ovation Hollywood last June and also last August, and I'm actually getting ready to sing again. They've relocated to Studio City, so it's going to be on June 18th. And if you follow me on Instagram, which it's in the little ticker at the bottom, at j.d.underscore Alba. I know that's a mouthful. I'm so sorry. But yeah, you're going to see all the information that I post about that, posting the ticket link, and then they give me a special code to put in so they know that you guys are going to support me. So
Right
And I will
on.
be
Right
singing
on.
We Belong by Pat Benatar. So if you love the women of the 80s, I will be singing Miss Pat Benatar's We Belong. So I'm very, very excited about it. Love that song. Love her. She's a rocker.
Jenna, your latest work in film is in the feature film Golden, produced, directed, and written by Nick Leisure and starring none other than Brian Austin Green. You got a speaking role in a Brian Austin Green film. That must have been a dream come true. Tell us what that was like.
Um, yeah, so I've actually been friends with this gentleman. His name is David Fernandez Jr. A very, very dear friend. We were more like online friends, kind of like you and I. But we finally met. He knows that or knew that I was, in this journey of acting and singing and stuff like that. And I would hit him up sometimes, asking questions and getting some advice from him and everything. And he messaged me one day about 3 years ago, yeah, in 2023. I believe it was July, early July or June. And he said, "Hey, my buddy Nick Leisure is having a film mixer in Sacramento. You should come on out for it because it's a big networking event." And they had some of the cast members from Golden there because they had already shot a portion of it in Mexico. So some of it's based out there. And so I ended up going, drove out to Sacramento about an hour from my house, met everybody, listened to the presentation, introduced myself to Nick at the very end, took a photo with him, and I said, "Hey, if you need anything, I can do production assistant work. I can be background. I would love to audition for you. Just any way I can to be on a set is a dream for me." It's, the more different roles you play, even as like, PA, first AC and all that, the more you learn in the background, it makes you appreciate it more once you're the talent, I feel. Um, so he said, "Yeah, we're having auditions. Come on out." So it was like 3 days in a row. They were doing a crew call kind of audition to see who would show up to be extra crew for the Sacramento shoots. I did the audition process. I read for Issa, but of course she was already cast. They just wanted to kind of see, what we could do with it. And he ended up casting me as a El Diablo girl, so I got a role. It didn't have a speaking part at first. Then I came back for the crew call, waited for about 4 hours, and they felt bad because like they had so much going on. I feel like they almost forgot about me. And the first AD, Quinn Gardner, came out and he's like, "Hey, oh my God, you're still here. Awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Like, let's do this, man." And he's like, "Okay." He's like, you're gonna be one of my production assistants. We got this, gave me all the information. So started doing the PA work, and then we were on location. And I can't remember the name of the spot, but it was just incredibly hot out there and everything. And they needed a body double for Issa because she's based in Mexico. Her name is, I believe, Marilyn. Very, very sweet girl. And they needed a girl to body double for her on a stationary bike because I cannot ride a motorcycle or anything like that, a dirt bike, to have the helmet on, her
Yet,
red and black jacket.
yet.
Yes, yes. I did get lessons though from the gentleman that provided the bikes. He ended up giving me a lesson after shooting, and it was incredible. It was really cool. But I put on the stuff. They're like, "Who can fit Issa's clothes? Anybody on set?" I'm like, "I will try. I volunteer as tribute." And so we didn't really have a dressing room. We just had different like cars and vans set up, for transport and everything. So I got in one of the back of the cars, popped the outfit on, and the boots fit, the pants fit, the jacket, and then all I needed was the helmet. And now I'm a body double on the film. So there was a shot,
Nice.
I'll never forget it. It was a shot in front of El Diablo's mansion, and I'm on the bike stationary. Brian Austin Green gets on the back of it because we're getting ready to roll. And I'm like, "Oh my God, Brian Austin Green is like literally holding my sides, pretending like we just rode here and he's about to get off." I'm like, this is not happening. This is amazing. This is my life." And so he gets off. I say the line that eventually gets dubbed over with the official actress later because I have the helmet on. And Brian's responding with his lines and everything. And we're supposed to be walking through the gates to El Diablo's mansion. Well, we couldn't hear when Nick said cut. And so Brian looks at me and he's like, "What? I don't know if Nick said cut or not, but we're just going to keep doing this thing." And it was just, he's a little goofball, and it was so cool to have that moment with him. It was really cool. And then eventually my friend he became my friend on set, is actually Nick's best friend. His name's Steve, and he was doing art department. And he saw how much I was hustling because if I wasn't doing body double, I was back to PA. If I wasn't doing my El Diablo girl, I was back to PA. I was just constantly moving and grooving and all that stuff. And I would think I was the only
Yeah.
female production assistant there. So he saw how hard I was busting my bootay, and he's like, you know what? I could use the extra help and support in the art department. I'm going to make you second in art. So you're going to be like my right hand kind of thing. And I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. So then when I wasn't doing PA work, it was okay, art, reset. So we're grabbing the money and moving things around, and we have to make it just as it was, taking photos of everything how it was so it matches next time for continuity. Um, and then we were on set at this old like warehouse, and Nick comes up to me in between scenes, and I'm dressed up as the El Diablo girl because we're shooting that scene. And he says, "Do you want a line? I'm going to give you a line." I'm like, "Sure." So, don't say no. This is what you want to do, girl. Don't pass it up. So he gave me the line. My line that you hear in the movie is, "I only have room for one passenger." So I have put my little accent in there. I am Hispanic, but I was raised out here. But yeah, I got my line and everything, and it was really cool. I was like front and center with the main cast and everything, and it was really really cool. It was awesome. Great experience. Great people. We all ended up becoming like a family.
Yeah. Wow. Fun fact. Brian Austin Green was friends with Corey Haim. Did you know that?
I did. I actually heard it from the horse's mouth, the man himself. So Brian on that set where I was saying it was like really, really hot. We're taking a break. I'm drinking some water. I'm sitting in a chair, and I have a lovely tribute tattoo on my right arm to the man, the myth, the legend, Corey Ian Haim. He's just very near and dear to my heart. And I see Brian, and he's like this. He's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh my God, Brian's talking to me." He's like, "Who's that on your arm?" And I said, "Oh," I said, "This is Corey Haim." And he's like, "Oh," he's like, "That's my buddy." And I'm like, "What?" And I didn't, you didn't even think put two and two together, but they were both 80s, 90s heartthrobs. I kind of
Yeah.
dislike that term, but the one that all the girls wanted and all the guys wanted to be. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I was very good friends with him and his mother, Judy, and he would help them out and stuff and just was very, very bonded to them. And he had told me that the night before he was standing out on the open area where we were previously shooting, and it was night. All the stars were out, and the stars were just beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, like just boom, boom, boom. Everywhere you look, there was a star, and just like a nice kind of overcast kind of look to it too. And he had told me that he was thinking of the Lost Boys when he looked up at the sky, the night sky that night, the night before. So to see, you know, one of the people there working with him to have a Corey Haim tattoo, he was like, whoa. He's like, I was just thinking about the Lost Boys last night. That's crazy. So I got to hear a few stories from Brian, and yeah, just it was really cool. It was an awesome connection. That man is still connecting people. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. We love him so much, but he basically kind of brought us together. Now you're a dear friend of mine, and I love you very dearly, and it's just awesome. It's an awesome feeling. I feel like I'm unfortunate I never met him, but I feel like I'm meeting him through spirit, through all these wonderful people that knew him along the way. So
Yeah, when you get an opportunity to talk to someone else that knew him, it feels pretty special, and
yeah.
I don't have the words for it, but I always like to talk to people that knew him, and for some people it is hard. It is hard, but it's
Absolutely, of course.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and over the years, we all heard that everyone was so concerned about Corey's legacy, and I'm just like, his legacy is just fine. I mean,
It's perfectly fine. He's got a toy,
long
guys.
long
He's got
live
a toy.
an honor to Corey Haim for sure. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
He's another king. Well, we have the what do we call it? The king of pop, the king of rock, and what's Corey's he's just the king.
I would say he's the king of just fun.
King
Let's
of
just say
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen interviews and stuff, and he just seemed like the sweetest little goofball. Like, there was no facade. He was who he was, there was no I'm gonna act a certain way on camera for the cameras. It was just pure and utter beautiful Corey, and I love that about him. Yeah.
He was one of those people that I had that, that laughter, that
Belly ache and laughter.
gut wrenching, belly aching laughter that healed the inner child. Like I wouldn't be who I am today without all that laughter from Corey Haim.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest things for me was that I could make him laugh, and that was one of the greatest joys that I experienced, was the ability to make him laugh as well. And it was, yeah, he was, he
Yeah.
was, he was an
You've told me
awesome
a
guy.
couple of stories, and I'm like, oh, you guys were just little mischievous little guys. You guys were so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a
So
special human being. Very
yeah,
special.
yeah. I'd love to meet Brian Austin Green. Yeah, I'm sure Judy would love to hear from him too.
Yeah, and it was great seeing him again too. So we just had the golden premiere in March. It finally got released, and so I got to see the whole family again and walk the red carpet. I got interviewed, and it was a little overwhelming because it's like my first little red carpet interview thing, and I'm like, whoa, this is pretty cool. But I'm seeing Brian and then his beautiful lady Sharna Burgess. They're just like just so natural. They've just been in the game for so long, and I got to spend some time talking to Sharna, and we took a photo together and with her and Brian, and just they had a Q&A after the film was shown, and they're really good people, really really solid good people, good hearts, good energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
You also, you're also an artist. When did you first get into art?
Um, when I was a kid, everything kind of just was like one thing after the other. Once I found like, oh, this is another way to release like my demons or my certain things that I'm dealing with. I think I was about 8 or 9 years old when I started sketching. So it started off with just, sketching my favorite Disney characters. I would do like the Lion King characters quite a bit, Lilo and Stitch, Beauty and the Beast, all of those. And then I ended up taking a few, I think maybe a semester or two of art in college. I went to Contra Costa College for briefly, just because eventually I couldn't afford it, but I was learning like shadow work and still life, where you look at like an apple and you're trying to get the shading right, everything like that. Um, and then it just kind of kept going on, and I really didn't start painting until about 2023, almost 2024. So it's only been a couple of years or so that I've been doing that. And once I started, I just haven't stopped. I have probably like to my right of me in the corner is probably about 80 different paintings that I've done just in 2 years. And I have some here if you wanted to see, because I did get inspired by Corey.
Well, here,
Yeah.
wait. Here's a fun fact, kids. Jenna is a contestant in the Johnny Depp People's Artist Contest. So, how did you first find out about this contest, and what made you want to become a contestant?
Well, we're going to go back to that little conversation about doom scrolling. I think I have a problem. Yeah, so I just saw an ad for it on Instagram, and when I see Johnny Depp's face, I'm like, oh, how can you not stop and look? Of course, for one. But it said People's Artist Contest 2026. You can win
He's the
$25,000.
only man I'd let kiss me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so you can win 25 grand, which I can definitely use. It would be grand to have 25 grand. And then your art gets featured in Artforum as well as at the Art of Elysium in Los Angeles here. So just many different ways to showcase your talent as well as getting that cash prize, which you can pay for, studio space and have a bigger, because I'm just doing all of this stuff in my bedroom right now. So when I try to flick stuff, I'm making sure don't hit your TV, don't hit your PlayStation 4, girl, don't hit your other artwork or your dog, mind you. Um, but yeah, I saw it and I was like, there's an opportunity, knock, knock, answer the door. And so I did. And so I already had plenty of art to share. So I was like, let's make this artist page and let's do this thing. Let's rock and roll, you know.
So how is it coming? At what stage are we at now, and how do people locate your artist page to vote so you can sail off into the sunset with Mr. Johnny Depp himself?
Well, that actually, look at that. Da 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 da. I have
Oh,
advanced, if you can see it, to the top 10. You can't really see it, but
oh,
it just told me I'm currently 10th and I made
oh,
it.
good.
So 7 p.m. it closed and I stayed in. So
Oh,
stay
good.
tuned, guys. So now I have to successfully make it to the top 5. So I have to jump a few steps ahead of people. You can find my page through my Instagram bio, which is on the little ticker at the bottom at j.d._alba. You just go to the link in my bio. Now you're going to see a Venmo link and only a Venmo link on my bio. But if you hit that link, it will pop open all 3 links available for my page. And it's the last one. It'll say Johnny Depp People's Artist Contest. You'll see what place I'm in. You'll be able to do a free vote every 24 hours as well as contributing dollars to extra votes. So there's like $10 for 10 votes, $25 for 25. Today, up until the closing at 7 p.m., they had 2 times the vote. So if you free vote once, it counts as 2. So yeah, if you guys can help me out, that would be absolutely wonderful. Um, I'm a starving
And
artist. Just
just
call me Jenna.
emphasize.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, call me Jenna Instant Ramen Noodle Dialba,
Yeah, yeah,
as I'm
yeah, yeah,
literally a struggling,
exactly.
starving artist.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so you could win that. You could definitely use that 25,000 cash right about now, eh? So yeah, I
Finally
was gonna
buy a
say,
decent steak.
what's that?
I said I could finally buy like a steak or a decent steak
Yeah,
for myself, you know?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But don't forget to emphasize that, like, on a daily basis, people can support you. That you get one free vote. So yes, there's an opportunity to support you by the $10 or the $25, which I still think people should do. If people like to talk about, supporting the arts and being a patron of the arts, and they feel good in the stature, well, then here's an opportunity that it doesn't cost that much. Normally, when you're a patron of the arts, it's a lot more than $10 or $25. And I view it as just encouraging an artist, right? And there's nothing
Absolutely.
there's intrinsic value. Like, Jenna doesn't, unless she wins the money. Jenna's not going to see that money unless she wins the money. And we can support her in getting that money. But yeah, I think it's something that people can do and should do, and
Yeah.
not just the free vote.
Yeah, I would appreciate it. I mean, I would use the money obviously to help myself, get my own place, have my own space, help out my family. And I also plan on donating some to charity, not pledging, donating to charity. So you know where I'm going there. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
would always, St. Jude would be one for the Children's Hospital, which is something that's very near and dear to Johnny Depp's heart because he's had his own struggles with his kids, being sick at times, of course. And yeah, and then to rescues, adopt, don't shop. I really firmly believe that we have so many animals out there that need our help and just need forever homes. And I have my little baby here. This is Rolo, and I rescued him about 7 years ago, and so it means a lot to me. The money wouldn't just go to me; I would also be helping out. Okay, you can go back to sleep, Papa. Um, it would also be going towards good things because, I want to be able to give back. That's the one main thing that if I do, hit big and, make a substantial amount of money for doing something that I love, I really, really, really want to give back, from mental health to rescue dogs, suicide awareness, all of it. I feel like we just need more support in this world. So if I can be of help, then I would love to.
My wife and I got a rescue cat as well. His name is Scooter.
Scooter,
And
little Scooter.
he's doing really well now. At first, he was so I think a man abused him. So anytime I sneezed or got up, he like darted out of the room. But now,
Oh,
after years, he's very comfortable.
oh,
he can
good.
lay on his back and expose his stomach and just know that he's not going to be hurt. And he's so used to everyone loving on him in this family. So,
Right.
and so yeah, no, I know that feeling as well. Yeah. So don't forget
Totally.
to vote for Jenna D'Alba. Follow her on Instagram at j.d._ALBA. And her artist page is in the link in the bio. And like she said, it looks like the Vemno, what is it? Vemno link.
Venmo. Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
you click on that and 3 links will come up and you'll see the Johnny Depp one. It's really easy to navigate and go check out her art. And speaking of some of the art, can you show us some of the art that you put up there? Can
Yeah,
you show it live,
totally.
exclusive
Yeah,
on the Greg Who Show?
exclusive. Absolutely. So, in honor of obviously Johnny Depp, I worked on this a few years ago. This is the famous
Nice.
Betty Sue tattooed art piece here that's featured on the page. We also have this little guy here. Da, 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 da. Corey. It's kind of my lighting's not the greatest. I need to work on that, but we have Corey here. And then I've done like, just different like abstract art because obviously, Corey was a beautiful painter, not only a talented actor and singer, he could paint. Um,
That
yeah,
is a Corey.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still need to get an original piece of his. And so I've got this one here, some red and blue and white, a little zany kind of stuff here. I also really like working with glow in the dark. So I've got this one here. You can't really see it too well because the lighting's not great. And then the last one I just worked on is I call this a golden shattered heart or shattered heart of gold.
Yeah.
So it's the heart and just a broken glass with gold behind it. So I just really love creating, anything that if I'm sad, happy, angry, any emotion, just you can put it on a canvas, you can put it on a piece of paper, you can write lyrics, you can sing about it. It's just right lately the painting has been that that creative outlet for me. Like I know when I'm angry, the when I'm not so careful of like hitting my splattering my paint everywhere, I'm just like boom, boom, because I'm trying to let out that emotion, get it out of me. So it'd be really great if I had my own studio space and I can really, get in there with my hands and just do that. Like I want to do so much more with it.
You reminded me of I forget, it's been a long time. I know I'm expected to know all these things, but you might know, what's the website where you can buy the Corey Haim artwork? What's that site called?
I believe it's called Fine Art America.
That's it. That's it. That's the
Fine
one.
Art America. Yes.
Check out, just as you were talking about like the splattering and kind of getting wrapped up into your creating your art. I heard, yeah, Corey told us a story about him getting wrapped up into creating his art. And the one where he really went places, he went far out there. It's a piece called The Message. I believe it's called The Message. Go check that out. And
Yes.
and I would encourage you to pick up a piece of Corey Haim art for sure. It's we have a few of them around the house, and it's very inspiring. And I'm happy to see, Jenna, that you were inspired by him. And when I look at some of the pieces, some of it is you and it's just you
Yeah.
alone, but some of the pieces I can tell that Corey definitely inspired you. And I think it's great. Like, I just
Yes.
think it's wonderful. That's a part of his legacy too that people don't always see, right? And
Right.
I think it's great. I
Exactly.
think it's great, and you should be encouraged as an artist and to keep going in all your different your singing, everything. You're yeah,
Yes.
you're pretty special, and I hope you go far in this industry, and I think you can be
Thank you.
a light in in an ever increasing darkening world. We need
Right. Right.
we need the humanities. We need the arts for sure. Absolutely.
Yes.
So since you're a part of Johnny Depp's People's Artist Contest, I have to ask, what is your favorite Johnny Depp movie of all time?
What isn't my favorite Johnny Depp movie of all time? Um, there's so many. I mean, it's really, really hard to choose. I think one of the first ones I ever saw was Edward Scissorhands, and of
No,
course
yeah.
that also made me fall in love with Tim Burton and his art style. You know, he I believe he was an animator or intern at Disney as an animator, and then just was moved on to his own thing later, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas, stop motion and stuff. But yeah, Edward Scissorhands is very near and dear to my heart. The lovely Diane Wiest was also in that one from The Lost Boys. She's just the sweetest woman in the world. Oh. But the one that really like hits home for me is What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that film, but
I
Johnny
have.
plays a young man who basically is struggling with dealing with, you know, journey of love, life, and the struggles of having to basically be the caretaker of his family. His father's no longer alive. His older brother, you know, moved away because it was just too much for him and possibly didn't want to have the same fate as the father who commits suicide. Um, and yeah, and then you have a young Leonardo DiCaprio who plays a mentally challenged little brother who's the mom is wanting to see him turn 18, and the woman that played the mom was not even an actress. She was just an obese woman, fit the role, and Darlene Cates was her name, and she's also no longer with us. God rest her soul. She just was so you can't I can't watch that movie thinking like this woman's never acted before. She was just so pure, authentic, and beautiful throughout the entire film. And, you know, you have Crispin Glover in there. You have John C. Riley and the beautiful Juliette Lewis playing Becky, who is a girl that comes into town. She's like a frequent traveler, and Johnny's character Gilbert just takes a liking to her, and she kind of opens his eyes to a whole new way of like seeing the world and all that stuff. And it's just a fantastic film. Music, cinematography, the acting, it's just oh, and Mary Steenburgen. How can I forget her? She was fabulous as well. So if you haven't seen the film, definitely check it out. It's one of my favorites for sure.
Mine was Benny and June with the whole Buster and Keaton, the forks and the exactly.
I love it.
That man is talented. That for decades
Yes.
that man has pulled off the best movies, and I can't even believe that. What was it, Disney, the moment eh, false allegations were thrown his way, that man has made more money for these big companies and they're ready to toss him away like a dirty rag. And here they are, like, my God. Did you see that Amber Heard trial? Where was it, in Fairfax County or Virginia?
You mean the my dog stepped on a bee? Yes. I definitely did. I wanted to keep up with it because, you know, Johnny's just meant so much to me throughout
A
my
megaport.
entire life. You know, he means the world to me, and he's a huge inspiration. So yeah, I watched it. I used to work at the Courtyard Marriott as a front desk agent, and I would have my little phone open on YouTube every day, getting ready to see the good word, you know. Let's see what happens. But it was absolutely ridiculous. It was kind of like a circus, and
No,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, all I can say is I pray for that woman. I hope she finds her peace in this life, in this world, because don't dwell on that anymore. And it's just unfortunate that they both went through that and that he had to be dragged through the mud. And it's very, it's many people don't think about how common it is that men are falsely accused of abuse because people are so easily um gonna go on the woman's side because, oh, they're not as strong and this and that. Well, that those false allegations are thrown around so many times, and it is on record that she did say, "If you tell the world, Johnny, nobody's gonna believe you." Well, guess what,
Yeah.
honey? We believed him. We support him. Not everybody does, and I get that. Some are on her side, but I do. I firmly believe that he is an innocent man. He was proven not guilty, and the fact that he was losing out on roles and all this stuff for these multi-million dollar companies that he brought in so much revenue in, it was kind of ridiculous because he's been in this industry for so many years. I mean, shoot, 40 or at least 40 plus years. So the fact that they didn't show him the grace of, innocent until proven guilty and just kind of shunned him really kind
Yeah.
of makes me sick to my stomach. And the fact that she was still allowed to be in Aquaman 2 and nobody batted an eye about that. Well, was something else going on there? I don't know. But it was just very, very double standard in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I am glad that he was, I guess the word is vindicated, the word like he was proven
Yeah.
proven innocent,
Vindicated.
and
Absolutely.
yeah, so I'm
He
very
walked
happy about
away
that.
from that as an absolute hero to any man that has silently had to endure allegations and these women trying to get a leg up or just, yeah. He's
Mhm.
an absolute hero to men. Absolute, absolute. There's many a silent men that have endured, um, every not just sexual, but emotional and all kinds of stuff. And you know
Physical,
that
psychological, all of it, yeah.
y- that precedent was perfect timing, and the Me Too movement had to happen. And obviously there's a point to that as well. There are women that have legitimately been abused, but
Mm,
it that whole thing set a precedent at a perfect time because there was
totally.
such imbalance and injustice was starting to prevail. And so it was a precedent that needed to be established, and it worked. And he walked away as an absolute hero, and he's just as popular and just as famous and just as beloved as he ever was, if not more. Because
Oh,
even if
absolutely.
people kind of went through the roller coaster with him, oh, maybe he did something. No, at the
Yeah,
end of the day, he walked away the victor, and there's no doubt in my mind. And yeah, he's
yeah,
he's an
and he's
absolute, yeah.
yeah, he's definitely a hero. I consider him a hero. He's already been one of mine, so I can see why he's now a hero for many men out there that have gone through the same kind of thing and didn't get the same kind of result as he did, you know?
Mhm.
So, and it's great to see him now focusing more on like the painting stuff because he's a fantastic artist as well. And he loves his music. He was a musician before he was an actor. He was in a band called The Kids and
Mhm.
then made his way into the acting world. And now he's with the Hollywood Vampires, which I got to see them in 2019. And I I was like $1,500 for a VIP ticket. I don't care. I was a bartender at the time. I'm like, let's go. I'm gonna make that back. And I met him. And this was after he had gone through the actual abuse, but didn't actually go through the trial yet. And I remember meeting a girl in line about to meet him, and she was talking about, oh, you know, bad mouthing basically misheard and all that stuff. And I was oblivious to it because I was not really like focusing on the news and stuff like that. So I was like, what's going on? And she's like, I'm gonna tell him, don't worry about it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he just wants to like enjoy the night. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to think about that, even though like the gesture is nice. he just wants to enjoy the night with seeing his fans and then play the music. So I met him. I met Joe Perry from Aerosmith and Alice Cooper. And Alice Cooper, he looks so intimidating with all that makeup on, but he was the first one that actually said hi to me. He popped out and he's like, "Hi, I'm Alice. How you doing?" And I literally wanted to say, "I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy." And fun fact, both him and Joe Perry were both in Wayne's World 1. Alice was in 1, and Joe Perry was in Wayne's World 2. So I thought that was like a cool thing.
Yeah.
Um, but it was my opportunity to meet him and give him a hug. I hugged him like at least 2 or 3 times. And I just told him like, everything you do is magic and I just love it. You bring so much joy to the world and I just want to thank you. And he's such a humble human being. He literally was just like, "Oh, thank you." Like when I've seen interviews, the audience claps for him. He stands up and goes like this and claps back for the audience. Not many people do that. People just get up and go, "Okay, thanks, bye." I'm sure they're still grateful and everything, but his humble side and his gratitude really does show because your ego is not your amigo in this industry. You have to be grounded. You have to be humble. And so after I saw him at the Warfield in San Francisco and met him and everything, and I got front of the stage, and because VIP gets first dibs to the front, I literally was on the right side of the stage where he was placed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just a dream come true, meeting him and seeing him in action and everything. And I would love to work with him one day. That's also a dream of mine. But my mother and I actually scored tickets to the Jimmy Kimmel show when the Vampires performed about a
Oh,
month or so
nice.
later through One Iota. And so I remember seeing him arrive, seeing photos of him arriving, and he was wearing a shirt that says, "Be humble or get humbled." And I
Mm.
thought that that was a really cool thing. I'm like, this guy, this guy's the real deal. He's just that boy from Kentucky. I believe he was born in Kentucky. He's never forgotten where he's come from. He loves his family, he loves his fans, and he's just so gracious and kind. So the fact that anybody could try to paint him as a monster and maybe, and I'm sure we all have our demons, I've done things in my life that I'm not completely proud of, but like, he seems like a sweet man, a sweet soul and kind and just loving. I love that man so much. He's awesome. So thanks for putting on this contest, Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You met Alice Cooper as well. He's a Christian, eh? Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. I believe he's a sober man too. Like I've been sober for about a year and 3 months. So just really cool. Like, it's that old way of thinking where it's like, I'm a rock star. Oh, I have to do this and drink and do drugs and it's stuff. And it's like now the cool thing is being sober. It's being
Yeah.
present and, living in the moment, enjoying the present because you're not going to remember stuff, when you're clouded like that. So yeah, I really respect that man very much. And he has a long marriage, the longevity that he's had with his wife. I just absolutely respect him so much. I think they just celebrated like 50 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, just fantastic human being.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's how he found God is through that struggle of addiction, right? So yeah, and he's very open about it. And yeah, no, it's good. It's good. So you met
It's
a
all
lot
good
of
in
the
my
Lost
hood.
Boys is what's that?
Oh, I said it's all good in my hood.
Yeah, exactly. So you met a lot of the Lost Boys, but you're really close friends with Jameson Newlander,
Yeah, I
and
sure am.
he's got an event coming up. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I've known Jameson, I think about 3 or 4 years, more closely like the last two since moving out here. I've helped him out. So he's frequently goes to Santa Cruz because they have the free movie on the beach every summer. Lost Boys always kicks it off, and he likes to make his presence known. So this year is actually the 40th anniversary of them filming the Lost Boys. Next year is 40th anniversary of the release, July 31st. They came
Mhm.
out in '87. So yeah, he's a really good dude. And I met him originally back in Sacramento, 2022. I went to a screening at the Crest Theater, and I first met G. Tom Mack. Billy Worth was there as well as Jameson, and they were super sweet. And I've kind of had a friendship with G on the internet as well too. And he knows that I sing and play guitar. And I remember him telling his videographer, "Hey, this is the girl that sings." And I'm standing next to all these guys like they were talking about me. So cool. But I basically offered my services there because I've done production assistant work, and I'm like, "Hey, man, if you need help during any conventions or anything like that at the free movie on the beach, I'd be happy to help you." So I have. I've helped him there. I've helped him at different conventions out here, and hopefully continuing to do so later on. But he has an event, yes, next month. They're doing the free movie on the beach, June 12th at night. I'm not 100% sure of the time, usually like 8 or 9 o'clock. But on June 13th, they are having an event at Atlantis Fantasy World, which is not the original comic book shop. Unfortunately, that fell to the ground in I believe it was the '89 earthquake. And but it's the
Yeah,
same owner.
that's right.
So Joe is still the comic. Joe Ferrara is the same comic book shop owner. He actually had a little cameo in the film. He's playing pinball in the back where Corey first walks into the comic book shop and meets the Frog Brothers for the first time. And yeah, he's going to be doing a signing from 11 to 6 p.m. at the shop. You get your tickets at the shop there, Atlantis Fantasy World. You can find them on Instagram and everything on the internet. And then they're doing a little dinner from 6 to 8. I believe it's $50 per ticket. And you can go and you can have a chat and have some chow with Jamie Newlander and Joe, the shop owner. And it's been really fun. We actually got to reconnect, or he reconnected with Bar. His name is Bar. He played the Frog Dad. Obviously, he had no lines, just him and the Frog Mom are sitting back there snoozing. But he's a wonderful guy too. You know, you never know if he might show up or make an appearance. So, Bar, I hope you're doing well. But yeah, if you guys want to check it out, we'll have the flyer posted up, and yeah, we hope we can see you out there. I will be there too. My family's going to go out and we're going to have a day at the beach and stuff, and it's going to be wonderful.
That's good. So is it sorry, is it actually at the comic book shop that it takes
Yes,
place? So
the
it's
signing.
so
Yeah,
the space is kind of limited then.
yeah. I mean, it's a decent like space. You know, there's like a separate room where you can walk around and look at stuff. He's usually when you walk through the front door, they have a table in the back. There's a side table with like the registers. But I mean, it gets packed in there, but it's a lot of fun. It makes it feel like
No, I
very
mean,
intimate.
but do they have to limit the tickets? Like if someone wants to go to this event, how many tickets are the tickets limited?
Ooh, that I'm not 100% sure. Let me double check.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I was thinking like,
No, you're so
yeah.
good. That I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure if you guys go to the Atlantis Fantasy World Instagram and shoot them a message or give the comic book shop a phone call as well, you can find their number on Google. They'll give you a lot more information about the details about the uh the dinner and everything, and if it's a limited ticket event.
There you go. So, I'm really looking forward to our a full episode and to get into some of your adventures and some of the people that you know and your cousin and waiting for Godot and Aaron Carter. And so I'm really looking forward to that interview. And this was sort of a good little preamble, sneak peek kind of thing, introducing you guys to Jenna. And I'm just hoping that you'll cheer her on. Artists need as much encouragement, and go and vote. There, remember, even if you are unable to buy some of the votes, you can always encourage her by doing the free vote every day, so you can still support her and encourage her. And go to her Instagram, and and let's get ready for episode number 7. And yeah.
Thanks for having me, Greg. It's been real fun. Yeah.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant, but I don't. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, "Thank you for being a friend." Thanks for being a friend, Greg. I love you so much, brother. It's been a
Thank you.
blast.
Love you right back. Please join us as we continue to explore an artist's world with Jenna Alba exclusively on The Greg Who Show. Stay tuned for episode 7. Good night, folks. Good night, and may God bless.
God bless.